I have while discussing the LIC IPO or investing in LIC, where every other player is a private player except LIC. They are growing faster than LIC. From fiscal year 2016 to 21, the total premium for life insurance in the life insurance industry has grown by 18% CAGR for private players. Whereas for LIC has been able to grow just 9%. And you can see that it has reduced its percentage share because more number of private players are entering. And in the insurance industry, as they are growing by 18% CAGR, the private players are gaining a share. So if you look at financial year 19, it was 66.40. In 20, it was 66.20. In 21, it is 64.10. No wonder over the period of years, the share might even reduce more than 50%, or the share might get below 50%, or it might be 45, 30, or any amount of share. The other concerns, the new business premium has grown 15% CAGR over the last 5 years, with LIC growing at 14% and private players growing at 18%, as I mentioned. Now, the persistency ratio. So what is persistency ratio? Persistency ratio is when the consumers are paying the companies regularly the insurance premiums. So LIC's persistency ratio lags behind most of its peers as given. In the 13th month, the insurance persistency ratio was 79%. So we can say that over of the 100% of the people that who have paid the LIC or taken the LIC policy, only 79% are paying the premiums in financial year 21. And over a period of time, let's say in 25th month, 37th month, 49th month, and 67th month, it is dropping over the period of months. So in 13th month, the persistency ratio is 79%. It keeps on dropping from 25th month to 37th month, 49th month, and 76th month interval. If we compare it with 13th month persistency ratio with SBI Life and HDFC Life, so in SBI Life, it is being reported at 88%. So, and HDFC Life had reported 90%. So we can say that in SBI Life and HDFC Life, people are paying, or people are consistent with paying the premiums, or we can say that they are loyal. 90% of the consumers who take HDFC life insurance policies are loyal and are paying them premiums. Whereas in LIC, it is only 79%, and the ratio keeps on decreasing. So this leads to a conclusion that poor persistency and low growth, that is the LIC growing only at 9%, whereas the private players growing at 18%, is going to reduce the earnings in future. At the pace at which they are earning is going to be reduced. So let me explain you with profit after tax, that is in crores. If you look at in March 2019, it was only 957.35, and it has grown to a profit after tax of March 2021 to 2900.57%. So over a period of 10 years, in the first year it grew to 9.75%, 9%, then 10%, then 8%. And from the period after 2017, if we talk about the industry average, that is growing at 12 to 15% and has grown from 12 to 15% over a period of last 5 to 10 years. You can see that from last 5 years, the average growth in the profit after tax of the LIC is way too much less. It is showing in March 2019 that it has grown. The profit after tax has increased by minus, or I can say that it has decreased by minus 12.82%, and then grew to 8.7, then 9 and 0.89 and 6.48. So in 2020, I can understand that even the COVID has impacted, but the private players has gained substantial market share of from 2020 to 2021, wherein if you look at this percentage, the private market or the private players have taken 2% market share, which is a huge number if we talk about in crores. Thus, the other concerns that LIC's value of new business margin was only 9.3% in the 6 month ended September 2021. What is value of new business? So it is the present value of all the business and insurance underwrites in a year, and it can be compared loosely to profit after tax. So as I mentioned, that the value or the margin that LIC is operating is just 9.3%. Whereas if you look at SBI Life, it is operating at a margin of 21.8%. And for HDFC Life, it is highest, that is 26.4%. So LIC is operating on thin margins, and the customers don't tend to stick with LIC for a long period of time, as even the value of new business is going down and affecting the regular flow. So as I mentioned earlier, that LIC's persistency ratio is just 79% for the 13th month. The customers don't tend to stick. It shows that, as well as the LIC is operating at a margin of 9.3% of profit after tax, we can say that. So low loyalty, or we can say that low returning customers, as well as low margins, are one of my concerns, that whether I should be considering LIC for a longer period of time or not. So the last thing that I want to conclude, that even though LIC has been losing some market share, it seems to me that it is natural in the competition that LIC being a private public sector unit and the private players marketing as well as bringing new financial products into the market, there is a lot of opportunity that is present. So if I can say that even if 50% market has to be covered by insurance, there is a lot of opportunity, because the insurance market as of now is under penetrated only to 3% or 4%, and LIC has been able to maintain a substantial market share. So even if in future, even if the share from 64% to 50%, so even if in the future, if the LIC share from 50%, if it comes down to 50%, it would still be a huge amount if the market is penetrated overall from 3% even to 10%. And that's all for today. Thank you.